John Arhitis, and we have a lot to talk about, the latest and greatest in Hudson County news, just like every other week. So first of all, just briefly wanted to say, hope everyone had a great holiday weekend. And since then, we've certainly hit the ground running. Obviously, a hot topic this week was a group of activists protesting outside of an event for Freeholder Anthony Romano. While we had a chance to have a short conversation with him on Tuesday evening, he is actually giving us the time to sit down for an extended interview today. He's sitting right next to me, and we will talk to him at length for the majority of this broadcast. Beyond that, we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on between the Hoboken Board of Education and the city. There was an incident where the Board of Ed actually sent a letter demanding the full $243,000 from the payment in lieu of taxes at 77 Jackson Street. However, that demand will not be met, according to Corporation Counsel Brian Aloya. If we have time, I'll go into more detail on that. That's the latest story on our website. We'll also have time pending a conversation about the Morris Canal Manor vote at the Jersey City Council. That's something that the Planning Board approved back in October, and this was the first reading on the changes, specifically creating a new Berry Lane North zone to make this project go through. And we're going to talk about that again, if the time allows. And finally, we are going to hear a word from our sponsors before we come back with Anthony Romano. Be right back.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net. Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights, your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments, carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants, all major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712.
Good Friend Self-Storage in North Bergen, New Jersey is a fully climate-controlled facility equipped with state-of-the-art security, packing supplies, a Refer Friend program, and multiple loading docks convenient for commercial use. Located just off of Route 3 at 4301 Tunnelly Avenue, Route 1 and 9. Call 201-867-2444 or visit us on the web today. Good Friend Self-Storage. Let us be your good friend.
3, 2. Hudson County View, live and uncut. I'm your host, John Arhitis, and I'm joined today by District 5 Freeholder Anthony Romano, who of course represents Hoboken and a portion of the Jersey City Heights. Stick, thanks for sitting down with me. No, it's not the best set of circumstances, but
glad to be here, John.
Glad to hear it. So look, let's get this out of the way. There was a tweet posted late last night from one of these activists that were protesting your event on Tuesday, Miss Amy Torres, and she's claiming that there was an assault. She went to the police department. She filed a report. Do you have any comment in regards to this video, this tweet that was posted?
Well, completely untrue. There was no assault, and refer any comments to my attorneys, Abrams and Wolfsey.
Okay, so they've asked you not to comment further on this matter?
Yes. I mean, but I can say there was no assault. I was completely engulfed by an unruly mob. I'll leave it at that.
Okay, so you're saying that's the way that she described it is not the way that it happened. Is that fair to say?
No.
Okay. Now, did you watch the video that she posted?
Yes.
And I mean, what did you think? Looking at it, there was obviously people surrounding you as you just described. There was some contact made towards the beginning of the video, and then there was a lot of yelling, and then it ends. Anything else you could tell us on that?
Well, unfortunately, there was no police presence at the time, and I think that was part of the problem. And if there had been, I think that it wouldn't have reached the point that it did of blocking the entrance of the event.
All
and
right.
Also, damaging the property that occurred also.
What property damage are you speaking of?
There was a table with decorations on it and balloons, and it was trampled, and damage was done.
Okay. Very good. So look, with that said, obviously, as we already spoke about briefly, Tuesday didn't go as you would have hoped, but, look, the ICE contract vote is something that a lot of people put a lot of time in. I mean, you know, between the last two meetings, I would say the public comment was what? Probably at least 14 hours. I think conservative number might have even been like 15 or 16.
I know the last meeting started at 1 and it went through to past 1 o'clock in the morning.
Right. So, look, I think part of the reason, and you know, certainly want to hear your thoughts on this. People are so angry about this. You know, some people, not everyone, obviously, but they were told in 2018, not by you, but by the county executive, that this would be phased out, and then they brought up the vote again, and you know, obviously, it wasn't the vote that they were hoping for. So, what do you think about that perspective?
Well, first and foremost, I think that there's a different sides to the situation. We respect everyone's right to protest or to disagree, but a lot of the people that were protesting the Hudson County situation weren't even from Hudson County. They're from all over because it's such a lightning rod topic right now.
Right.
But as I said to you, some freeholders look at it differently. Some are affected because they do not want to see a tax increase in their municipality, which would probably happen if you withdrew the amount of money that is received from the ICE contract.
So on that point, just clerical point, if I may. So last year, the last I heard from the county was approximately 17 million brought in from the ICE contract, and this year
17.4, yeah.
The anticipated revenue this year is about 8 million. Is that what you're getting?
That's what you were told, so I'll have to say that you heard it firsthand.
Okay. All right. Sorry, I cut you off, though. Continue.
And then for other freeholders, it could become a domino effect, and due to bail reform and due to if the ICE contract wasn't renewed, there would be a possible layoff of employees in the corrections department that reside in certain freeholders' districts. And contrary to what is being said, oh, just give them another job title. You don't do that. They're civil service corrections officers. In my case, I have three different factors that weigh into my decision, and that's the fact that there are certain legal representatives, lawyers, certain members of the religious clergy, for example, priests, and families themselves that do not want to take the chance that these detainees are moved to another facility that's possibly not going to be in this area. The second thing is the detainees themselves, upon speaking with them on more than one occasion, obviously their first choice is to be released.
Sure.
But they don't want to roll the dice either and take a chance of being transferred from a facility as ours, where they're treated with dignity and have availability to many medical. We upped the medical contract, so their medical coverage and treatment is par excellence.
Sure, yeah, I remember you said that.
Right, the food is a quality food. The only complaint that I heard when I was there last time was the taste. Okay.
You were there, what, like 2 weeks ago or so?
With Freeholders O'Day and Freeholder Cifelli and Freeholder Venieri.
Okay.
And then there's the other piece of the situation that I don't know if a lot of people understand. Many of detainees have been charged with crimes of a felony nature, first-degree crimes. We're talking about there was one murder that was on the list, different rapes, sexual assault, statutory rape, forgery, armed robbery, amongst the 87 or 89 offenses that were given to the freeholders from the Director of Corrections.
On
So
that,
these
just
all
real
factor
quick, Stick,
in.
we're going to take a commercial break. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Don't want
The Jersey City Medical Center. You know it for its award-winning, life-saving ambulance service. It's also your health hub, with health and wellness locations staffed with certified professionals all through Hudson County. The Jersey City Medical Center, here to help you with your healthy, here when you need us the most. The Jersey City Medical Center. Visit us on the net to learn more. Jersey City Medical Center, Robert Wood Johnson, Barnabas Health Facility. Let's be healthy together.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in 10 high-rise rental towers with amenities such as the on-site Newport Path subway, light rail and ferry service, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, Retail giants like Sears, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams Supermarket is just outside your front door. A health and fitness club, spa, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. NewportNJ.com. Enjoy the New York skyline from Newport Town Square. Manhattan is just one path stop away or quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Want to visit Newport? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. Go to NewportNJ.com for details. Newport has luxurious towers, great restaurants, shopping, New York skyline views, schools, playgrounds, a marina and yacht club, gym, spa, fine wine, fine living. It's incredible. It's you. NewportNJ.com. Newport, live like you want.
Hudson County View, live and uncut. John Arhitis, once again, still with Freeholder Anthony Romano. So you were just saying now that this list that we've spoken about before, and I know you've talked with several media types and also said at public meetings about the list, at least the last one. So as of the vote, which was November 24th, there was 93 detainees, and the list that you're saying came from Director of Corrections Ron Edwards had 87 alleged criminal acts, right?
87 or 89, yeah.
Now, I read through the list. I mean, I don't have it in front of me, as you could see, but there was a lot of different things on that list. Some were as simple as illegal entry, like you said. There was some that were more severe, like murder. There was a lot of, rape allegations there. But now at the meeting, Freeholder O'Day said that 95% of these people had already either been adjudicated or served their time for these crimes. So where is he getting that from, as far as you know?
Director Edwards has not given me that information yet, so I don't know if it's true or not. If they have done their sentence, which would mean it had to be in for years if these are rape charges, well then ICE should be either releasing them to their country or just release. And I understand and agree with that. But I don't know the answer to that question. I haven't sat with ICE personnel to say, well, if they've served their time, then why are they still here?
Okay. So as far as the director and his list goes now, there's 93 detainees again as of November 24th per the meeting, and the list had 87 crimes, or 89, I believe it was 87, but whatever, close enough. That would still leave a handful of people, though, right, that wouldn't have any crimes next to their name. So I guess that would leave the
Well, at the time that was issued, I don't even think there was 93. It was lower.
Oh, okay. So that came prior to the meeting.
Yes, that came prior to the meeting, yes.
Okay.
Prior to it going up to 93.
Got it. All right. Now, and another thing that you said was that, I know you're close with the corrections officers, have nothing but good things to say about their union, and you've spoken about how you feel strongly about the conditions at the jail, that it's nothing like a not a detention center, but as they were calling it, similar to concentration camps. You've pushed back against that pretty firmly. So why do you feel that these are actually pretty good conditions, things considered?
Well, obviously, no one wants to be in a confined area. There's COVID restrictions for the detainees. People say, well, they're kept in lockdown, but there's COVID restrictions for any of the inmates of the institution, whether it be on the detainees or the prisoner side. I think that when you talk about the conditions, I mean, the Catholic Church has commented, and other organizations. Our jail has just been given accreditation. I think that compared to other facilities in this, comparison, if you can call it comparison, that our facility stands out as far as cleanliness, treatment, access to legal representation, upgrading of the medical coverage and treatment. I think that there's an advocacy group and board which serves, and I'm on that also, that the number of complaints in different areas has dropped minimal. And I think that shows that there's an attempt by the freeholders and the county executive to do the right thing for the detainees. Some of the things that are said about inhumane treatment by the guards, I just find that hard to believe.
Right. I mean, the two most common, of the most common, I mean, again, there were hundreds of comments, but two of the most common things, like you said, was, some people said inhumane treatment. Some people were also talking about the COVID outbreaks, early on during the pandemic. And there was also some people that had, what they said was testimony from detainees that talked about quote unquote deplorable conditions. So why did you not feel like those were?
Well, here, I think there's a lot of information. I think a lot of what's being said is taking place at other facilities. For example, 2 years ago, there was an accusation of a rape, and somebody brought it up again at the meeting. The prosecutor's office investigated it, and they determined it didn't even happen here.
The county prosecutor?
Yes, yes. And then there was people making allegations, but no one has come forth to substantiate those allegations. I understand the frustration about other facilities that maybe are doing some of these acts, but we can only answer for the Hudson County facility that we oversee. And I think that all the freeholders, and the activists might not agree, do care about the detainees. But there has to be some kind of reform by the federal government. I mean, there should have been, in my opinion, many years ago, immigration reform. I don't think we're talking about the gentleman or lady that has been in this country, that's worked and pays their taxes and hasn't committed any crimes. That to me is the most compassionate that we should have, because they've been here. There should be some kind of process for them to become citizens. I mean, it's common sense. But those that have been charged with serious crimes, I think there's just a lack of understanding by a lot of people. We're not talking about somebody in possession of 2 joints of marijuana or DWI. I mean, those people shouldn't be in the same situation as those that have committed serious criminal offenses.
And again, just to reiterate, based on the information you're ascertaining from the jail director, he's saying, at least as of recent as last week, nobody there is there strictly based on immigration issues.
I can't say as of last week. I haven't spoken to him since the number increased.
Well, since the meeting.
Well, yeah, since the meeting, he basically said no, that they're here for criminal offenses.
Got it. With that said, sorry, we're just going to take one more break here. We're going to just hear from our sponsors. Once again, just give us a minute.
Most women who give birth recover without problems, but any woman can have complications after the birth of a baby. Learn the post-birth warning signs, such as fever, headache, chest pain, shortness of breath, increased bleeding, or thoughts of hurting yourself or someone else. Knowing these can save your life or the life of someone that you love. Trust your instincts. If you feel something is wrong, call and get evaluated by your healthcare provider. If your symptoms get worse or you do not hear back from your physician, call 911 or go to the nearest emergency room.
RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Pan & Pinto Properties, Jersey City. Shaping the workplace with state-of-the-art office spaces that address your company desires. Building residences that define your home environment. Adjacent to all modes of transportation with on-site parking available. The right address, the right lease. Call 201-521-9000 or visit online at panandpintoproperties.com. Pan & Pinto Properties, building Jersey City for everyone.
Hudson County View Live, and I've got John Arhitis and still with Freeholder Anthony Romano. So Freeholder, we're obviously, as you can imagine, some people on social media still are staunch that this was the wrong call, that this contract should have been voted down. We've talked about it in a lot of detail, I think. Again, some people still not satisfied, and that is what it is. But just anything else that maybe we haven't touched on in the past week or so that you'd like to throw out there?
Well, I think that a lot of people that are supportive of continuing the contract aren't going to actually come out and say it because of the way the activists have been attacking everyone who didn't agree with their view. I mean, there's people that have approached me in Hoboken and said, I don't want a tax increase. And there's members of the corrections union said to me, please, we don't want any layoffs. So there's different angles to look at things, and I think that it's important that all 6 freeholders be interviewed and asked, why this vote went this way. And one comment I want to emphasize is that we can get out of this contract at any time we please. Okay? We're not locked in for the length of the contract. All you have to do is give a notification and you can withdraw from the contract. And I think that's something that people should understand. And this image of that we support inhumane treatment or ICE totally is just not true.
All right. Now, Freeholder O'Day said, and I believe the resolution says, again, not in front of me, that after 60 days, it's up to the county executive's purview if he wants to terminate the contract or not. Was that your understanding?
Yes, that's my understanding legally also, that the executive branch can terminate the contract with 60 days notification.
All right. And at this time, you have no knowledge or no inclination that this is going to see a vote again anytime soon, right?
Well, that's another thing I think that a lot of the activists are calling the freeholders. The vote has been taken, and that's, now it's in effect in the executive branch. So that's where it's at. And I think that you'll see the population dwindling down anyway, and I think that with the election of President Biden, there's going to be some kind of reform and of ICE, and hopefully a resolution to this obviously hot topic, if you want to put it like that, that affects the feelings of many people. And hopefully it'll be a resolution that all sides will be somewhat satisfied with. Again, it's right to disagree, but as you heard at the meeting, some of the comments were just repulsive. And I think that doesn't accomplish anything by yelling or insulting people. When people say that you're not listening, that's not the case. The people, we are listening, but again, there's so many things I think that go into this. You can't just simplify it. And calling them concentration camps, I don't agree with. I feel if you're a student of history, what a concentration camp means is something that that happened to the Jewish people during World War II. That was a genocide. It was concentration camps. And also what was done to the American prisoners of war in the Japanese prison camps.
Right.
So that's concentration camps. And I'll even put you on the spot. Do you think that the Hudson County facility, if you visited, do you think that's a concentration camp?
Well, I haven't been there in years, so I'm not going to weigh in on that. But, some county officials told me as recent as Tuesday that I would be welcome. So we are going to try to set that visit up in the immediate future. And, certainly, if we're allowed to film, which would be the whole point, then, I'll form an opinion from there. And I'll obviously want to let the readers and viewers see what's going on over there, for better or for worse.
Well, a few activists had said to me, oh, big deal, you're offering transparency, inviting everybody to the jail. So what does that accomplish? Well, I think it accomplishes a lot when you see that the detainees are addressed well, and they have access to legal representation. They're eating 3 meals a day, and I think that, to me at least, showing that there's a care and concern by the freeholders and the executive branch for the well-being of these detainees.
Right. So look, just to recap, we saw that meeting, which I believe is a state record. I don't have that in writing yet, but 12 and a half hours, don't see that every day. I think we could say at least that much. You have almost 200 people speaking against the contract. In 2018, they had some hope that they were going to get out of it. Obviously, that didn't happen. You've explained your reasons in detail, I believe. Going forward, it doesn't look like these activists are going to give you, basically any breathing room. It seems like they're really agitated with you and the freeholder chair, obviously. So what do you think going forward? What if there's a protest again next week?
I think they're agitated against all of us.
Yeah.
And I'm sure at the next meeting there'll be comments. But, we're elected to serve and to listen to our constituents. In this case, we just hope that the behavior doesn't become repulsive, and that, positive comments are always welcome. But by calling people names or threatening, I just don't know what that accomplishes.
All right. Thanks a lot, Freeholder. Thanks for giving us this extended time. Thank you for watching. We're going to take one more break. We'll be right back.
You know those times when you need to see the doctor, but you just can't get to the doctor? So where do you go? Go to the App Store, download the Telemed app from RWJ Barnabas Health, and you see the doctor right away. From any mobile device, whenever you want, wherever you are.
Quality care, no appointment necessary. The doctor is online when you download the Telemed app.
Don't you feel better already?
RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Stevens Jersey City Ford, located right off of NJ 440 North. Across the Hudson Mall is your one-stop for all your automotive needs. Check out Ford's latest models like the 2020 Ford Fusion with its stylish looks and hybrid options, or the unparalleled high-performance 2020 Ford Mustang. The 2020 Ford F-150 Raptor is ready for those rugged off-road terrains with trail control. Need a mid-sized truck for your towing and hauling? The 2020 Ford Ranger will deliver. The 2020 Ford Escape is a luxury SUV that was made for comfort and adventure on the go. Returning is Ford's legendary Bronco, which takes you back to the true meaning of off-roading. They are now available for pre-order in our showroom or on our website. Let us help you find your next vehicle. Stevens Jersey City Ford, 201-432-7272.
Hudson County View live at a gut, John Arhitis. So obviously we spent an extended amount of time on that segment. Just want to do a quick recap here. So first of all, I mentioned at the top of the program that there was something going on with the Morris Canal redevelopment plan. The Morris Canal Manor plan that was in Jersey City, and there was a council meeting last night. Uncharacteristically quick. That was only about 2 hours. The main point of contention there was this development in Ward F. You guys saw we covered, I believe it was like 3 or 4 community meetings over the summer, and a lot of people expressed a problem with the affordable housing. It's only 4% of the, I believe they ended up at 450 plus units. I think it's 461 units, and only 5% allocated to affordable housing. Now, they have a number of other amenities that are being offered, and that includes a STEM center, that includes parking, designated parking, and there was also a business hub as well, a small business hub. But despite that fact, there's still a lot of people that are not happy that this does not include more affordable housing. Some people have said they'd like anywhere from 10 to 20%. Others are also displeased by the fact that this is 17 stories. Nonetheless, this actually went through by a vote of 8-1. The only person to vote against was Councilman at Large, Rolando Lavarro. He said that no matter how many amenities, and I'm paraphrasing, you offer in a deal like this, there's nothing that trumps affordable housing, and he cast his no vote from there. So that is a recent story from today. I also mentioned to you at the top of the program what's going on in the Mile Square City regarding the 770 Jackson Street pilot. So let me tell you about that for a moment. So this is something that we've heard about since July. Mayor Ravi Bala brought that up in a Nixle alert, and he told us that this has no impact on the charter schools, basically due to the state formula set by the New Jersey Department of Education. This is something that the city can only allocate funding, which is $243,000 approximately in this particular scenario, to the public schools, not charter schools. They would have to get it vis-a-vis from the public schools. So with that said, there's been 2 council votes. You've seen me speak to council members about it right in this studio, and both of them, or there were 2 council resolutions, I should say. There were actually no votes because both measures ended up getting pulled. One was an 80-20 split between the public schools and the charters. There's 3 charters, of course, in Hoboken. And the second one was allocating the whole $243,000 to the public schools. And that also, again, ended up getting removed from the agenda prior to the vote. So the latest is that Vito Gagliardi, who serves as counsel for the Board of Education, sent a letter to the city, specifically Corporation Counsel Brian Aloya, and he said that they were demanding that they give them the $243,000 no later than the December 16th council meeting. His rationale is that, again, as I mentioned earlier, due to the state funding formula being the way that it is, that they didn't even have the option to give to the charter schools, so he didn't understand why this was still dragging on. Of course, again, paraphrasing, that's the latest story on our website. But from there, I also wanted to mention that there was a response from Corporation Counsel. Again, Brian Aloya responded and said, you have no legal standing to demand anything. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to call it a day. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week.